600,000 people go missing in the United States each year. Tens of thousands remain mysteriously missing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mysteriously Missing. I'm Karen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carl.
Today's episode is featuring Sarah Elizabeth Burton. She went missing on July 16th, 2018, and dates do vary from July 16th to July 17th on some of the reports, but the FBI did later weigh in and state it was July 16th.
This episode retraces Sarah's last known location in Joplin, Missouri. The city of Joplin is located in southwest Missouri near the borders of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Joplin has a population of approximately 50,000 people. Regarding the crime rate in Joplin, one's chance of becoming a victim of either violent or property crime here is 1 in 20, per neighborhoodscout.com. The overall crime rate in Joplin is 60% higher than the national average, and in Joplin you have a 1 in 25 chance of becoming a victim of any crime. This is per areavibes.com.
Now a brief description of the case. A friend dropped Sarah off at a service alley near 10th Street and Rex Avenue in Joplin, just after midnight. They parted ways and Sarah planned to walk home from there. She never arrived and has not been heard from again.
Sarah had wrecked her car earlier that year and was excited when her father helped her buy a used SUV. On July 11th, she wrecked the SUV in Pittsburgh, Kansas, 30 miles from Joplin.
So she didn't have a car on the day of her disappearance. Sarah was born on February 22nd, 1990. She was 28 years old when she went missing, and Sarah would be 30 years old today.
She was born in her hometown of Joplin, Missouri. She was 5'7", 160 to 170 pounds, although NamUs reports her weight at 120 pounds. She was a Caucasian female, brown hair. She wears her hair long, below her shoulders. Blue eyes, and her ears are pierced, and she has a scar on her forehead. The day she went missing, she was wearing a purple and white blouse with blue jeans and black flats.
Growing up, Sarah liked playing school, and she turned out to be a good student, having been placed in a program for the gifted at one point in her education, her mother said. Because of Sarah experiencing some difficulty interacting with other children at an early age, her parents encouraged her to take up cheerleading, hoping it would help her develop better social skills. She ended up a cheerleader at Joplin High School.
Her favorite movies listed on her personal Facebook page are The Notebook, Mary Poppins, Blow, and The Wizard of Oz.
Sarah is a mother of 2 children. Her parents, Stephanie and Ron Burton, have been taking care of her 3-year-old son, Xander, while Xander's other set of grandparents have been tending his 8-month-old brother, Zane. She has a sister, Amanda Midget, or Midyett, and the father of her children was incarcerated at the time of her disappearance and isn't a suspect in her case.
For about a year, she managed to hold down a job with a local cell phone repair business until troubles with her son's father eventually cost her the job. Her Facebook says she was a former senior sales representative at CPR, Cell Phone Repair.
Now getting into the timeline, her personal Facebook page says she's from Dunweg, Missouri, which is about 6 miles east of Joplin, so basically in the same area. Sarah graduated in 2008 from Joplin High School. Stephanie Burton, her mom, said that following high school, Sarah's life took a turn for the worse when she became the victim of a violent crime and began using drugs.
This is tragic, and we've seen this before, where a victim of a violent crime turns to drugs. What was the actual crime? We have not been able to get details on this. She struggled with methamphetamine, and her drug use landed her in prison in 2010. But when she was released, Sarah was determined to turn her life around.
In September and October of 2017, Sarah wound up staying at the Lafayette House in Joplin. The Lafayette House states on their website, "Our mission is to be a safe sanctuary offering compassionate and empowering services to heal the effects of domestic violence, sexual assault, and substance use disorders. Each year, Lafayette House serves more than 1,300 people in the southwest Missouri area. They offer professional, compassionate, and trauma-informed services for adults, children, and families.
So at this point, she has been struggling with drug addiction for about 9 years if she started after her high school graduation in 2008. Sarah's mother said that she landed a steady job and stayed clean for about a year until troubles with the father of her children led her to slipping into her old habits.
Her personal Facebook page also says she lives in Pittsburg, Kansas. But in the months leading up to her disappearance, Sarah was living with her parents at their home in Joplin. However, they were hoping to get her into a residential treatment program. Before they could do this, Sarah vanished.
She was recently free on bail on charges of drug possession, trafficking in stolen identities, and stealing a motor vehicle.
Her criminal history through public records is extensive. It consists of several criminal infractions and fines dating from 2008 to 2018. I imagine the Joplin police were familiar with Sarah.
She was making all of her court appearances and had been told by an attorney that she might be able to get 2 of the charges dismissed and a suspended sentence on the 3rd. Her parents don't believe she would have run away because of her legal problems.
July 6th. As we mentioned, Sarah had wrecked her car earlier that year and was excited when her father helped her buy a used SUV to replace it on that Friday, July 6th.
Sunday, July 8th, was the last time she saw her parents. This was about 9 days before her disappearance. Her father, Ron Burton, had put the tags on her vehicle that Sunday. She took it for a drive and they never saw her again.
However, on July 11th, 3 days later, she wrecked the SUV in Pittsburg, Kansas, 30 miles from Joplin. And again, her personal Facebook page says she does live in Pittsburg, so perhaps she stays there as well as her parents' house. Her parents think she may have been afraid to let them know about the accident and was avoiding them while she tried to figure out what to do.
The early morning hours of July 16th, a Monday. Sarah's friend dropped her off after a night out together. Sarah reportedly told her friend that she wanted to walk the rest of the way home from there.
Stephanie Burton, her mom, said she learned from employees of a business on Range Line Road that Sarah and the friend who reportedly dropped her off at a service alley near 10th and Rex actually parted company at that location. It was reported she was last seen on foot in the area of the 900 block of Range Line Road, walking off alone along that road.
And this location on Range Line Road appears to be 900 South Range Line Road, not 900 North Range Line Road. 900 South is close to 10th Street and Rex Avenue, where her friend stated she dropped her off.
However, a few months into the investigation, detectives learned that Sarah was seen an additional time after being dropped off by her friend. A detective working the case explained, "Based on our investigation, she was actually seen later that same morning at a residence in the northwest part of Joplin. Detectives have kept quiet about how they actually obtained this information."
This residence is an apartment house in the 100 block of North Pearl Avenue. This is 3 miles west of the location on Rex Avenue and East 10th Street. Captain Trevor Duncan of the Joplin Police Department stated, "Based on our investigation, she was actually seen later that night at a residence in the northwest part of Joplin, and that's all I can tell you."
Captain Duncan said he could not be any more specific about the time and place than that. He declined to reveal what investigators may know about what Sarah was doing on the northwest side. He stated that the friend who dropped Sarah off at the location on the east side has been cooperative with police. He declined to discuss how she may have gotten from there to the other side of town. "We know there were people who were in touch with her after 10th and Rex who have not come forward, but could shed a lot of light on this case," Captain Duncan said.
Thursday, July 19th. 3 days after Sarah was last seen, the friend informed Sarah's parents of where she dropped Sarah off when she brought them Sarah's purse and a shoe. The friend said Sarah left the items in her car.
And that is concerning that she left her purse and one shoe. Most women will not part with their purse, And does she have an extra pair of shoes? Walking with one shoe across town at night doesn't seem likely.
Friday, July 20th, the next day, Stephanie Burton reported her daughter missing.
Then on August 7th, 2018, a NamUs case was created.
August 23rd. The case drew considerable attention online. Shanna Merriman, a friend of Stephanie Burton, created a Facebook page titled Bring Sarah Burton Home. That page had at this point attracted more than 2,100 followers. Merriman sees the number of followers as a reflection of the compassion Joplin residents feel for families forced to undergo the trepidation the Burtons are suffering.
And just a note, as of our recording date, this Facebook page, Bring Sarah Burton Home, seems to be down or removed. Now, September 2018, Stephanie Burton said in an interview, Xander, Sarah's son, misses his mother. Every so often, he tells his grandparents, "She's coming back, she's coming back." Stephanie Burton admits that she's not so sure. "I don't think she's alive," she told the Globe. "Sarah would have called her dad, or she would have called me. She would not have left her sons. She would not have left her parents like this."
The Burtons acknowledge that Sarah has had a troubled past, including struggles with methamphetamine addiction and a turbulent relationship with the father of her sons, who happens to be currently incarcerated. But she has always been good-hearted and appreciative of her family and friends, they say.
They do not believe she would have jumped bail and run off, leaving her family behind just because of her legal problems. She wouldn't have put all that work into it and just quit, her mother said. At the very least, she would have called me and said, "Dad, I'm sorry, but this is what I got to do," Ron Burton said. "I've totally ruled out her just running off."
The Burtons acknowledge that Sarah was depressed and complaining how she hated her life, but they also do not believe she would have harmed herself. And here's an audio clip of her father.
Sometimes I just sit here and I look through that door and I think she's just going to walk through that door. It's hard. It's really hard.
Police Captain Trevor Duncan said that investigators have yet to determine if Sarah met with foul play. "At this point in time, we can't rule anything out," Captain Duncan said, "but we are very concerned about her well-being."
When the Globe spoke with her, Stephanie Burton said she had just received new information from another of Sarah's friends about her daughter, and for the parents, it would be a worst-case scenario if true. But all the family can do is pass such rumors on to the police. "We don't need drama. We need closure," her mom said. "We're a close family."
Ron Burton said that unlike his wife, who believes Sarah is no longer alive, he wavers between such fears and lingering hope. "Through my faith in God, I have hope and I cling to that," he said. "But there are times when I have to look at reality, and reality tells me that I may never see my daughter again."
Michael Burton, Sarah's cousin, told Joplin News Talk KZRG she would not walk away from her family or her little boys. Somebody is holding her against her will, or God forbid, has done something to her.
Monday, September 10th, 2018. Friends and family of Sarah Burton held a candlelight vigil and lantern release at Joplin's Mercy Park. The event, titled Lighting the Way Home for Sarah, began at 7:30 p.m. Her parents expressed gratitude to everyone who has helped in the search for their daughter, including those who are covering the cost of the candles, ribbons, and other items for Sarah's vigil.
About 120 people turned out in the pavilion atop the hill. Several said they came out of a sense of community. "Family isn't just blood," said Amy Burris. "Family is deeper than that, and this is family." Amy, a family friend, said she was there to provide what love and support she could to the Burtons because if she were in their place, she knows she would appreciate the same.
Sarah's father, Ron, seemed taken aback by the size of the crowd at the vigil. He said there were old high school friends there whom he had not seen for years, several co-workers from Hampshire Pet Products, relatives, and strangers. "I didn't actually know there was this much support," he said. "Maybe they're friends of Sarah, I don't know, but it's things like this that give us hope."
Ron and Sarah's younger sister spoke briefly at the gathering when candles were lit. "Please continue to pray," Ron Burton said. "We haven't given up. There's still hope." Her sister Amanda also expressed amazement with the support shown for the family. "This has been so hard," she told the crowd. Mike Burton, her cousin, said his thoughts about Sarah were everywhere that night. He said the weeks since Sarah's disappearance have been mentally draining for him and all of Sarah's extended family.
Andrea Holseth, who brought her son Briar with her to the vigil, explained, "She's part of our community. She's one of us. When you grow up in an area, and I grew up here, everyone is a part of you."
December 2018, 4.5 months after Sarah's disappearance. Detectives have kept quiet about how they actually obtained this information, but it was revealed that the residence where Sarah was last seen was searched twice in December. Both searches came up empty.
Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. A narcotics search warrant was served at a property southwest of Joplin. Newton County Sheriff's investigators, Joplin Police, and Ozarks Drug Enforcement Team members served the warrant with assistance of 2 SWAT teams at about 5 p.m. Tuesday at a property on Crane Drive, just south of 32nd Street.
Sheriff Chris Jennings said no one was on the property at the time and no arrests were made, but the search turned up something that matched up with information Joplin police detectives had received in their ongoing investigation of Sarah's disappearance 8.5 months ago.
"I do not believe any drugs were found, although it was a drug search warrant," Sheriff Jennings said. "But while they were there, they saw some things that moved them to get a second search warrant to look for evidence concerning Sarah."
Sheriff Jennings declined to say what the search turned up that might be related to Sarah's disappearance, except to say that it was not a body, nor any of the missing woman's belongings. The sheriff emphasized that there was nothing concrete yet to tie what was found on the property to her disappearance.
The next morning, Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019, Captain Trevor Duncan said Newton County Sheriff's Office and the FBI are continuing an investigation at that residence. "We are in direct communication with them and have been."
He confirmed that an FBI crime lab team was called in Wednesday morning to help process the scene. The FBI has been assisting Joplin Police for several months in this case.
Ownership of the property on Crane Drive remained uncertain at this point. "I'm not really sure who it belongs to at the moment," Sheriff Jennings said. He said it may be the property of an out-of-state holding company. Some former residents are believed to have moved to Oklahoma some time ago for health reasons. Additional search warrants were obtained on the property, where a residence, several outbuildings, vehicles, and a pond were processed by crime lab technicians.
Sheriff Jennings said the Newton County Sheriff's Department has received a number of tips in recent months. The sheriff said some leads have pointed to various locations in Newton County that may have figured into her disappearance. There was another location where possibly something happened to her, Sheriff Jennings said.
The investigation lasted a week and included the FBI and Missouri State Highway Patrol diving teams, according to KZRG. Evidence was sent to the FBI for testing.
May 30th, 2019, Captain Duncan said he received more than 60 leads on this case, according to KOAM News. "On one hand, we've got a lot of people coming forward and bringing information," he said. "On the other hand, we know there's always those people out there that know something and they know it's vital, but for whatever reason, they don't bring it forward."
On this Wednesday, 10 months after Sarah's disappearance, the FBI announced it was offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for her disappearance. Larry Swinehart, head of criminal investigators at the Joplin Police Department, said he hopes the reward will turn up leads, according to the Joplin Globe. "I don't have any hard evidence, but I think there are people who know," he said.
Captain Duncan said that he believed the family had realistic expectations for the outcome of the case. "Due to the amount of time that's passed, the information that is out there, and the developments in the last couple of days, I know the family is obviously very upset, but they are very realistic about the possible outcome," he said.
July 17th, 2019, 1 year after Sarah vanished. The Joplin Police Department says it continues to investigate Sarah's disappearance and is once again asking for the public's help. Joplin Police Department detectives have done numerous interviews and followed up on leads in Joplin, Jasper County, Newton County, Oklahoma, and Kansas.
Authorities say there are no known vehicles that Sarah has access to. They are concerned for her safety and well-being. A candlelight vigil for Sarah was held at 8 o'clock at Mercy Park in Joplin to honor her and bring attention back to her case.
There was another targeted search for Sarah on August 8, 2019. Captain Nick Jimenez says the search was in a vacant field near 10th and Rex, where she was last seen. Authorities did not find anything.
The Joplin PD would like to thank 4 State Search and Rescue for assisting their detectives on the case.
Her mother said she has a card that money gets deposited into on the first of every month, and she always goes and pulls it out, but it hasn't been touched. Additionally, Sarah also has medication she takes that has not been picked up.
Investigators have checked out more than 80 leads. Captain Jimenez acknowledged that the rate at which leads have been coming in as of late has not been as frequent as police would like. They hope that someone will come forward with information that will solve the case.
So let's recap. A friend dropped Sarah off at a service alley near 10th Street and Rex Avenue in Joplin just after midnight. They parted ways and Sarah planned to walk home from there. It was later reported that she was last seen in the early morning hours of July 16th at an apartment house in the 100 block of North Pearl Avenue in Joplin.
The friend who dropped Sarah off at the location on the east side has been cooperative with police. The police are not revealing how Sarah may have gotten to the other side of town, which is approximately 3 miles. Captain Duncan stated, "We know there were people who were in touch with her after 10th and Rex who have not come forward but could shed a light on this case."
So, have her phone records been investigated? What was her frame of mind when her friend dropped her off? Had they been partying? Why did the friend wait 3 days to tell her parents?
Did Sarah walk the 3 miles to the apartment building? If this is where she was last seen, what are the residents saying happened to her? Couldn't the public help if they had more information on this case from the police department? It's been almost 2 years at this date of our recording. It is time to bring Sarah home.
A Facebook page started August 23rd entitled Bring Sarah Burton Home had more than 4,100 followers, but appears to have been removed as of our recording date.
Her personal Facebook page is still up, though.
Anyone with information can contact the Joplin Police Department at 417-623-3131.
Our hearts go out to Sarah and her family, and we hope that soon something will come of this case and they will bring her home. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thanks, everyone.